who's our Master of Ceremonies today, for their church readings and helping to make today possible as well. So thank you, gentlemen. I'm also going to say thank you to you all for coming so far. I mean, I think you'll all agree this is quite some place to have a wedding. I mean, it looks fantastic, it's absolutely beautiful, so thank you to all of you for coming. And of course it would be completely remiss of me not to compliment Beatrice on how amazing and wonderful she looks this afternoon and this evening. And as for John, well, what can I say? Ian and I tried. Now, I've known John for 34 years, since I met him on my first day when I joined a school, and they were sat there and all these people were sat around, and there was Billy No Mate sat in the corner, no one talking to him. And John then walks into the room, everyone stops, starts talking to John. John walks straight up to me, sticks his hand out, says, "I'm John, you are," and that was it. 34 years ago, and since then we've spent vast amounts of time with each other and so on, and he's my dearest friend. But, needless to say, over 34 years, you might come across a few stories. So, the thing is that there's so many stories to tell here, but I don't know where to start, so I thought, well, I need a theme. I need a theme to run through this that I can bolt these stories into. So I've come up with this theme, but then the problem then is, of course, with some of these stories, they don't fit the theme, so what do you do? So, for example, I'm miles ahead of this, I can't mention John's amazing ability to make 4 pairs of underpants last an entire university term without ever seeing a washing machine. And actually, I'm exaggerating, because it wasn't 4 pairs of underpants. It was 4 pairs of underpants and a pair of swimming trunks. Or is a novel approach to washing up, which I have to say I thought was absolutely brilliant. John and I shared a house in Leytonstone, and it was in 1981, and it was absolutely freezing that winter. It was so cold. And this flat that we were staying, being poor students, had no heating in it whatsoever, okay? And we came up with this great idea, and the concept was that you cook your meal in the evening in the frying pan, you put the water in the frying pan, and you just leave it there overnight. And then when you came down in the morning, it had completely frozen solid, you turned it upside down, bang the frying pan, the ice fell out with all the stuff around it, and you had a perfectly clean ice frying pan to use. It was genius! And of course, being students, being cost conscious and wanting to save time and effort, fantastic. I think you ought to market that. Now, the other thing I can't talk about, because it doesn't fit in with this theme, is John's problem with doors. Right, now John's got a problem with doors, and the first time we came across this was when Roseanne, who can't be with us, Roseanne, his sister, had bought a houseboat, and John and I decided that we'd go and help Roseanne to bring the houseboat back from Northampton down into Berkshire or wherever it was that we were trying to get to, which was just a great time we had. But we went out one evening, went and had a few beers at this place, came back, John got to the houseboat, and the houseboat's got these 2 doors at the front. John gets hold of the house, opens the door like that, the whole door comes off in his hand. He is so amazed that it's come off in his hand, he drops it straight into the river, and off it's gone. So poor old Roseanne has got half a door now. So that's one. Now the second time, and this really does take some effort, John and I had once again been out for a few cheeky beers on one Saturday lunchtime. I can remember actually it was in March 1991, because England just won the Grand Slam, having beaten the French, and we'd been out and we'd had a lot of Abbott Ale at lunchtime, and we came back and we decided with all these people that there we were going to cook a meal for everyone when we're drunk. So John and I made this Yorkshire, we made loads and loads of Yorkshire pudding mix. Believe me, we made gallons of the stuff, and it was dotted all around the kitchen, and we had to start cooking this stuff. So John says, right, here we go, oven's on, walks up to the oven, oven door comes off in his hand. So now there's no oven door on this thing. So Beatrice, bit of advice for you. As you know, things come in 3s, right? So when you go to bed tonight in the hotel, make sure you shut the door if you want to maintain any privacy. Anyway, to the main theme. And the main theme that I've decided to choose here is really based around as we all know, John loves a glass of wine. So I'm going to use wine here. And I think it only appropriate to draw on the words of the head of this country's most famous institution, if I can use that word, the Pope. And Pope John, you're wondering, thinking, is he going to offend the Italians here? But no, this is okay. Pope John the 23rd said this great thing. He was around until the late 19th century, early 20th century. And he said, men are like wine. Some turn to vinegar, but the best improve with age. So the question is, Beatrice, what sort of wine have you got here? Now, I've undertaken some research on Chateau Baston Pit 1961. And this is what I've uncovered. These are early tasting notes, which come from the school we were at in the form of a report. So here are some things that we managed to get out of John's report. The first one was from English, the English teacher, who said, "John who?" The next one was a philosophy teacher, who basically said, "This boy has delusions of adequacy." Mathematics, John is progressing well at maths, but still confuses inches with centimetres. Biology, this boy is a candidate for natural deselection. And the headmaster's report, which I've got, which, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever used this word in a wedding before. I can't believe he beat out 1 million other sperm. So these early notes, as you can see, didn't look too promising, and I think you were in danger here, Beatrice, of actually having made a bad choice. The wine master at this stage was wondering whether or not to actually, you know, just flush the wine, or whether to keep on investing in it. And he invested in it, and it's just as well he did. I can't believe I got away with that. Now, so the next stage, it's all down here from now. So the next stage about this wine was basically, this wine was coming along quite well, and it became very lively, okay? And funnily enough, it was best drunk in the dark, late at night, i.e. when John was let loose on the nightclubs of Swindon and London. And believe me, most people had not known what had actually hit them. And it was quite interesting here, because you needed to dress this wine up a bit, and John did. White jeans and gold brogues. He actually took a pair of black brogues and got some gold paint.